From the pit to the palace, trusting God's plan. So today I just want to summarize Genesis chapter 37 until chapter 50. A short summary from 37 till 50. Beloved, life is a journey filled with unexpected challenges. Sometimes we face betrayal, pain, and setbacks that makes us question, where is God? Is God even real? But today I want to remind you, God is always working behind the scenes. What looks like a setback is often a setup for something greater. The story of Joseph is one of the most inspiring examples in the Bible of how God can turn pain into purpose. So today, let's walk through his life and see what we can learn from his journey. From the pit to the palace. The first section, Joseph's dreams and the pit. This is from Genesis chapter 37 until verse 5 until 28. So Joseph was a young man with a dream. He saw visions of greatness, of his brothers and even of his parents bowing before him. But when he shared his dreams, his brothers became jealous. But when he shared his dreams, his brothers became jealous. Lesson number 1. Not everyone will celebrate your dreams. Not everyone will celebrate your dreams. Some people will hate you for what God has placed in you. But man's rejection cannot stop God's direction. Joseph's brothers betrayed him and threw him into a pit. They sold him into slavery, and he found himself in Egypt, far from home. Some of us feel like we've been thrown into a pit, rejected, abandoned, and forgotten. But I want to tell you today, your pit is not your final destination. In Genesis chapter 39 verse 2 it says, "The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man, even in slavery." God was with Joseph, and no matter what you're facing, God is with you. And no matter what you're facing, God is with you. The second section, Joseph in the Potiphar's house and prison. I'm not sure if I'm saying Potiphar correctly, but it's fine. So this section talks about Joseph in the Potiphar's house and prison. Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. But even in slavery, he was faithful. Lesson number 2. When you are faithful in small things, God will promote you. When you are faithful in small things, God will promote you. Joseph worked hard and God blessed him. He was promoted to manage Potiphar's household. But then came another test. Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him. Joseph refused. In Genesis 39, verse 9, it says, "How could I do such a wicked thing, a sin against God?" So he chose integrity over temptation, but still he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. Some of us have done the right thing and still ended up in the bad place. Some of us have done the right thing and still ended up in the bad place. Maybe you were faithful, but people betrayed you. Maybe you worked hard, but you were overlooked. Maybe you were honest, but you were mistreated. But hear me today. God sees your faithfulness, and He will reward you in due time. Even in prison, God was with Joseph. Because it's written in Genesis 39:21 that says, "But the Lord was with Joseph, and He showed him steadfast love and gave him favor in the sight of prison wardens." Now I'm going to another section, section 3, that talks about Joseph's divine appointment. So this is from Genesis chapter 40 till chapter 41. While in prison, Joseph met Pharaoh's cupbearer and a baker who had troubling dreams. Joseph interpreted their dreams, and his interpretation came true. But after the cupbearer was restored to his position, he forgot Joseph. Lesson 3. People may forget you, but God will never will. People may forget you, but God never will. Some of you are waiting for a breakthrough, and it seems like nothing is happening. But when the time is right, God will remember you. 2 years later, Pharaoh had a disturbing dream that no one could interpret. The cupbearer finally remembered Joseph. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh, and in one day he went from prison to palace. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh, and in just one day he went from prison to the palace. Pharaoh made him the second most powerful man in Egypt. So lesson number 4 here is, your waiting season is not wasted. Your waiting season is not wasted. If Joseph had not been in prison, he would have never met the cupbearer. If he had not met the cupbearer, he would have not been introduced to Pharaoh. If he have never met Pharaoh, he will have not saved nations. As God as a child. It's fine. Your trials are part of God's bigger plan. Do not give up. Section 4, that talks about when Joseph forgives and redeems his family. So this is from Genesis chapter 42 until chapter 50. So the famine struck. Those who don't know what a famine is, it is extreme scarcity of food. So the famine struck, and Joseph's brothers came to Egypt, not knowing he was the ruler. When Joseph finally revealed himself, they were afraid, thinking he will not seek revenge. Thinking he will seek revenge. So when Joseph finally revealed himself, they were afraid, thinking he will seek revenge. But listen to his powerful words. Genesis chapter 50:20. It says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." So lesson 5 here is, forgiveness releases blessings. Joseph could have punished his brothers, but instead he forgave them. When you let go of bitterness, God will elevate you. What the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good. What the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good. So in conclusion, let's trust God's process. Joseph's story is a testimony that the pit is not the end. The prison is not the end. God's promise will come to pass. Some of you feel like you are in the pit right now. Some of you are waiting in the prison, wondering, when will God help me? When will God come through? But I want to remind you today, God has not forgotten you. Your breakthrough is coming. Because it's written in the book of Jeremiah chapter 29:11 that says, "For I know the plans I have for you. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So let's hold on, because your palace season is coming. May God bless you. May He strengthen you in every season of your journey. Thank you. Loko va ku vutisa ku famba na mani, va byele ku famba na Matimu, Fortune, Mashava. Kutani ndzi ri Axa emantsamo yo ku nga rirhandzu ni ku tsaka ni kurhula ni ku yingisela ni ku tsakela ni vunene ni ku tshembeka ni ku olova ku tikhoma viraku na nawu lo alaka leswo tani. Kutani ndzi ri a hi xaveni vutlhari hi nga byi xavisi, a hi xaveni vutivi hi nga byi xavisi. Inkomu.